Okay, this is going to be a quick overview of some of the perennial seedlings that I've grown or I'm growing and that I've overwintered. These are all plants that I started last year or some of them maybe the year before, and overwintered them in my greenhouse, and now they're starting to come up, come out of dormancy and grow. I will be starting perennial and seedlings for this year, but I haven't started heating the greenhouse to its full temperature yet. So right now I'm just, these are just things coming out of dormancy. This is a Pulmonium yezoensis. You can see this is it here. I was kind of interested in it. I believe it has a blue flower. I've yet for these to bloom for me, but it has this very nice purple foliage. You do see a lot of moss in the pots, which is not intentional. It's probably not the best thing, but I think they're doing pretty well. There's some obviously that didn't survive, but I think I don't think it's not that they didn't survive. They never germinated anyway, and I guess I was hoping for maybe a late germination. But yes, so this is the Pulmonium. You can see it looks like it has a nice fibrous root system. These are ready to go in bigger pots, obviously. Moving on, next we have, this is Thalictrum aquilegifolium. And it is, these are actually, I would expect seeds that I collected here on the farm, because I don't know why I'd ever buy seeds. I can't remember, but I have lots of Thalictrum here, so I'm sure I just collected the seeds. And you can see it's these kind of fine ferny leaf things that are coming up. Here's one here, and of course you can tell why it is called aquilegifolium, because aquilegifolium basically means columbine leaf. And in fact, just for example, I have right here, this is aquilegia that I grew from seed, and so you can see how very similar they are, and you might even mistake one for the other. And then of course when they bloom, though, you can tell the difference. The Thalictrum is also, I believe, called meadowsweet, meadow rue, and it is quite tall, gets about 4 feet tall, will tolerate a fair amount of sun, and has a white kind of I don't know, plumy flower, not anything like a columbine. You would definitely not mistake one for the other. Back here, I have, these are actually plants that I collected and transplanted. It is an iris. Boy, now I'm blanking on the name. And it's a little low-growing iris, and it obviously it did not do well in the pot. You can see that there's one growing there, but this was a pretty full pot, and I think that the iris just weren't happy. I'm not sure. Maybe they're still in dormancy and they'll come up, but that was the first time I tried to grow that. These here, this is Coreopsis verticillata. As you can see, you know, very, I guess, vertical or thin, and this is a really nice spreading Coreopsis. These are also from plants that I dug here. I have growing here on the property, and I dug divisions and did that. And you can see, I don't know how clear that is, but that's actually a clover seedling. Probably white clover. I can kind of tell by the leaves. Obviously, I don't want that, but I get volunteers all the time. Okay, moving on. We have here some echinacea seedlings. They're not very large, but yeah, there they are. And they could probably grow in this pot for a while. Oh, look, they've got a pretty good root system. They probably would size up quickly because they are pretty full in the pot. So again, something else I should transplant. This is a Dianthus arenarius, I guess, or it might be deltoides. I can't remember which. I have both. These are ones in bigger pots that I didn't label, but I have ones in flats that are labeled. Obviously, there's some weed grass growing in here. I'll try to get out, and hopefully those look healthy. They've got nice growth to it, upward growth. Dianthus a lot of times has problems with die out in the center, and these look like they've recovered from that quite nicely. Yeah, the same thing. Those look pretty good. It's just a weed in there. And here is an aruncus. It's just a little tiny baby. I don't know. It might have even volunteered. in their goat's beard, and it'll grow to a large plant. And they survive quite well. Of course, if I make sure I don't forget to water it because it's so tiny. But those grow really well. Okay, last few flats. Here is the aforementioned columbine, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember which one this is. I know where I bought it. I bought it from J.L. Hudson, and I could probably piece it together if I went back and looked, and it would remind me which one. But I know it's some kind of species. I didn't get a color mix. I think it's probably a blue or a purple species. You can't really see much of a root. The roots are kind of hidden or not that developed, but you can see it's a good healthy plant. Back here, this looks like a mix of stuff. I don't know what's going on here, but this is a Japanese iris seedling. I grow a lot of these. I guess this must have been from, partial flat that I moved around or something like that, but there's only a few in there. And that concludes tour number 1 of some of my perennial flats.